Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to the Flame Entertainment and Sports. It's your boy Rob here. This is going to be a recap of Taylor Swift's interview on the New Heights podcast with Travis and Jason Kelce. Just want to, do a quick little recap about it. Obviously, it's one of the most viewed podcasts ever. It literally crashed an hour and 45 minutes into the episode, and a couple hours later, they're able to upload the rest of the interview, which is kind of like, the last section of the interview. But yeah, I just wanted to, come on here, do a little recap and, kind of highlight some things that stood out. Before I get into all that, make sure to keep up with us on Instagram and TikTok at the flame_ES. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify, and share it with someone you think would be interested in hearing, any of our content. Obviously, this is a Taylor Swift based episode, but we also, do a lot of sports based episodes, especially covering Miami sports teams, the Dolphins, Heat, some Marlins, stuff like that, and other things in pop culture, Dancing with the Stars, The Bachelor, stuff like that. So yeah, guys, now to get into my thoughts on Taylor, her appearance on New Heights. So to start off, like I was like very much blown away by how business like savvy and knowledgeable she is. Not that I didn't think she was, but to hear her be so like well versed in terms of like all the behind the scenes and yeah, basically the business side of music rather than just being only focused on the music side itself. Because we hear so many horror stories, especially in recent memory, right, about the music industry and all the powerful figures in the music industry, and we kind of know how dirty it is. And it's amazing to see someone like Taylor, who's arguably the most successful musician of all time, like to see her realize that she has the platform and the, I guess you could call it, the resources, right, to be able to like make a change in the music industry, not just for herself, but for her fellow artists and the artists to come right in the future. I think it's amazing that she's using her platform to help and to kind of put awareness out there for other artists that to not be taken advantage of by all these record labels and all these like powerful figures, right? So that was super cool for me. That's one of the highlights of the interview for me because yeah, like I said, it was just so cool to see her go into all the specifics of all the contracts and how how much percentages the labels have, and all those different types of stuff that we really don't hear about or pay attention to. That then they were mainly focused on the music side of it and the songs, the albums, the concerts, the award shows, um, right, all those different type of things. But at the end of the day, the business side is as important, if not even more important, than all the stuff we see on a daily basis. So that was super cool to see, and to see her be so like detailed, it speaks to how comfortable she was. Obviously she's doing the podcast with her boyfriend and his brother, so obviously she was gonna be comfortable doing it. But to see her be so like open, I guess, with not just the business side of music, but every single thing they kind of covered on there, I thought was so cool. And I love how detailed she was with everything that she really talked about. She really went into detail. She didn't really hold back, or it seemed like she just like put it all out there, and I love to see that. And I also love that, especially when she was talking about, you know, she of course she revealed her new album during the interview, "The Life of a Showgirl," her 12th album coming out October 3rd. But yeah, something I loved about that section of the podcast was when Jason asked her kind of like what was the inspiration behind like the cover art. And the cover art, for those of you who haven't seen it, I'll put her up here if you're watching on YouTube. But the cover art of the album is her, in a bathtub, and she said the reason that she used that as a cover art for this upcoming album is because after every single one of the Eras tour shows, her night would end in a bathtub. Her taking a bath, and so she kind of sees it as like the end, right, of the Eras tour, and now the start of this new era, the Life of a Showgirl era for her. So I thought that was super cool as well. I love how like every little thing, it seems like, matters to her, and I think that's super cool, and it speaks volumes about the passion and love she has for the career she's in. And like I said, not only like the singing part and the performing part, but every single aspect to her means something. And to me, when it means something like that, it also, yeah, it just speaks to the love and passion she has, because it's kind of like a sentimental type of thing where you see an artist or a person in any walk of life, not just music, like care so much and be so specific with every little thing they put out there and do. I think that's just so cool. I love to see, I love to see Taylor, yeah, showing that passion on new heights. I also loved how happy her and Travis seemed the whole time. And I loved how, Travis would like kind of look at her the whole time while she was talking. And, they just seemed super happy. So obviously it's amazing to see two people in love and, to, be showing that love with the world. And, they, at the end of the day, they don't have to show any of this, And also Jason, I loved this part. That was so funny. I never knew he was such a like internet centric person, I guess you could call it. And he kind of brought up how he reads all the different conspiracy theories like surrounding Taylor, and Travis even mentioned that Jason goes on Reddit and he goes on these deep dives and looks at all these conspiracy theories type of things. And I just thought that was so cool that he like admitted that to Taylor. And I think it's hilarious because Jason, in general, he's like a funny guy. So then to imagine him just like scrolling the internet and reading all these different conspiracy theories about her, I find it hilarious, but I could easily imagine it. So that was really cool to see as well. But yeah, those are some of the things that really stuck out to me. Obviously, it's a 2 hour podcast, so I could go on here and talk forever and ever. But at the end of the day, I just wanted to recap and highlight some main topics. And at the end of the day, I want everyone who's able to go to New Heights, YouTube channel, or to go to Apple or Spotify, wherever you listen to podcasts, and check out the whole interview for yourselves, because it really was amazing to witness, this interview. But yeah, guys, it's gonna wrap up. This was a short one, but like I said, it was a recap. I hope you guys enjoyed my thoughts, some of my thoughts, right, on Taylor's appearance on Travis and Jason's podcast. Make sure to comment down below here on YouTube, or share us your thoughts on Instagram and TikTok at the flame_es. Let us know what you thought about the interview. What were some of your favorite parts? What are you most looking forward to with this new era, the life of a showgirl? And how cool is it that, Sabrina Carpenter is going to be featured on the album? That was another one of my favorite things to hear as well. Before we wrap up really quick, yeah, I thought that was super cool that Sabrina, is on the final track, the 12th and final track of the album. And it's the name of the song is the exact name of the album, The Life of a Showgirl. So it's The Life of a Showgirl by Taylor Swift featuring Sabrina Carpenter. When that comes out, it's going to be freaking incredible. It's going to be everywhere. And I cannot wait to hear that song. I find it like so cool. And you think of Sabrina's story in general. She was a big Taylor fan as a little girl. She always wanted to be a singer. Obviously, she gets famous on Girl Meets World. Ever since her singing career, little by little, she kept blowing up. And obviously, she ends up being an opener on the Eras tour, and now she's officially collaborated with Taylor Swift. So we have Gracie Abrams and Taylor collaborating. Now we're gonna have Taylor and Sabrina. The one I want one day. I'm not predicting it's gonna happen now because there's no really indications, but I think this one will really blow. I guess you call it, break the internet. I was gonna say blow up the internet, but break the internet would be Taylor and Olivia. At least for me, I think that'll be incredible to hear one day. Hopefully, there's a point where they're able to make that happen one day. But for now, I can't wait to hear Taylor and Sabrina, though. I think that's gonna be an amazing song on this album, and I have a really great feeling. I think I'm gonna really love this album because the way she like spoke about it being super energetic, and it kind of sounds like fun party music. And the reason she used orange for the album is because she feels orange is kind of like an upbeat type of color. At least that's kind of what I got from what she said, describing her whole idea behind this whole new life of a showgirl record. So I'm super excited for it. I think it's gonna be another amazing album by Taylor Swift, and it's super cool too that she collaborated with a couple people she hadn't collaborated in a while, including Max Martin, who's like a famous music producer. I hear his name all the time. And she named some of the titles that she worked on with Max in the past, and it's like arguably some of her all-time biggest hits. She kind of listed them there in the podcast, and I was like, wow. So I'm expecting something great, and I just feel it's gonna be a super fun vibe. This is a little random fact, but being that I am from Miami, I gotta point it out there. So I saw that there's around 4 or 5 billboards that they put up around the country yesterday, promoting the life of a showgirl, and one of the cities was Miami. I thought that was super cool too, because you look at the color scheme with the whole orange, and orange is definitely a color in Miami. Even she wore this in Miami and a couple other shows. I think during Shake It Off, I want to say she wore like that green and orange outfit, kind of looked like a University of Miami colors, and then I see this orange. And in the podcast, she also mentioned at one point Florida. So I thought that was super cool. I'm wondering if she'll do some sort of thing where maybe she'll show up at a University of Miami football game this season. I wouldn't put it past her, honestly. I could definitely see it happening. I wonder for that August 31st, the first game here against Notre Dame, Sunday night, night before Labor Day, will her and Travis show up? I'm just putting that out there right now, trying to manifest that. I think that'd be pretty freaking cool, and I'll kind of go along with the whole vibe of the new album and the whole new color scheme. So ultimately, we'll see what happens. But yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed hearing some of my thoughts on Taylor's appearance on New Heights. Once again, make sure to share your thoughts with us. Comment down below here on YouTube. Share your thoughts with us as well on Instagram and TikTok. Make sure to follow us on there as well at the flame_es. Once again, please subscribe on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to podcasts. Share it with a fellow Swiftie or anyone you think would be interested in, hearing this episode. And yeah, guys, thank you so much for tuning in. Until next time, everyone, take care.